The people who change the world don't stop dreaming when it gets uncomfortable. That's a thought that has been running through my mind since spending time with Richard Branson on Necker Island, an experience that completely reshaped how I think about leadership, ambition, and what most people think is impossible. While the setting was absolutely surreal, I'm talking tennis courts on the beach, lemurs running around freely, what truly left an impression wasn't the luxury. It was witnessing firsthand how Richard Branson approaches business and life. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Bailey. I went from being a college student with a crazy idea to building a venture-backed startup and landing on Forbes 30 Under 30. On this channel, we talk about the startup journey, high performance, and how to pursue ambitious goals without burning out. Today, I'm sharing the 3 unexpected lessons I learned from Richard Branson that have already transformed how I run my company and live my life. And I think they might do the same for you. One of my biggest realizations on Necker Island was this: we're not dreaming big enough. I consider myself a pretty big dreamer, but Richard Branson made me ask, what if my idea of ambitious is still playing small? It can be exhausting to be the biggest dreamer in the room. Most of the founders I know carry enormous visions that they often keep to themselves because they've been called unrealistic or crazy so many times. But Richard showed me that the people who truly change the world do not dim their dreams when others get uncomfortable. He started a student magazine and now runs over 400 companies across completely different industries. He's living proof that if you're willing to show up, get it wrong, try again, and maybe look foolish in the process, you can build something that others thought was impossible. When I asked Richard what advice he'd give to young entrepreneurs, he did not hesitate. He said, "Screw it, just do it." And it's the title of one of his books and his life philosophy. He went on to explain that if you have an idea, don't wait until it's perfect or everybody gets it. Just try it. And if it fails, learn from it, adjust, try again. If you keep doing this, he said, you'll probably stumble onto something great, even if it takes a few attempts. As founders and aspiring entrepreneurs, it's easy to put so much pressure on ourselves to have the perfect business plan, a flawless pitch deck, ideal market conditions, but ideas are kind of a dime a dozen, and execution or experimentation trumps perfection every single time. Some of Richard's most successful ventures started with him knowing very little about the industry he was entering. What mattered wasn't his experience going in, but his willingness to leap and learn on the way down. This made me think about how many ideas I've shelved because the timing wasn't right, or I needed to do more research. Not necessarily companies, but ideas that I wanted to work on. But the truth is, momentum beats perfection every single time. The third lesson is the one that surprised me the most, and it's that fun isn't just a nice to have. It's part of the Richard Branson business strategy. Richard Branson is a risk taker, a record breaker, and a billionaire, but on Necker Island, I watched him make time to play tennis with us, engage in conversations as a friend and mentor, and throw an incredible ocean meets outer space themed party. And he wasn't doing any of this for show. He was simply living fully. And he's someone who shows that joy should be the foundation of the work that we do, which challenged my assumptions that seriousness and leadership go hand in hand. In fact, fun is actually a competitive advantage. It keeps you energized when times get tough, and it helps your team stay inspired through the challenges. It also helps you recover faster when things inevitably go wrong. And honestly, it's why most of us start something in the first place. When I'm knee-deep in investor updates, customer calls, and back-to-back meetings, I now remind myself that enjoyment isn't the reward waiting after success. It's what makes the journey sustainable while you're building. One story Richard shared was about launching Virgin Airlines. At the time, he was successfully running a record label. Starting an airline made absolutely zero sense to anyone around him. His team thought he had completely lost his mind. And he told us that if people had the ability to remove him as CEO, they probably would have. But because he maintained majority ownership of his company, he had the freedom to take that leap. And that's the part that really got me. Sometimes what protects your boldest ideas is simply having enough control to actually try them. It's a reminder that if nobody thinks your idea is at least a little crazy, you're probably not dreaming big enough. Being doubted does not mean you're wrong. Sometimes it just means you're early. And being early to a new market can be a huge advantage if you're able to stay in the game long enough to see the results. If people don't understand your vision, that doesn't invalidate it. It might simply mean that you're the one meant to bring it to life. So now I'm curious, what's one bold vision or idea you've been holding back on? Drop it in the comments and let me know. And let's put it out in the world, because writing our goals makes us 42% more likely to achieve them. And if you're looking for a practical framework to take consistent action toward those big dreams, check out my video on the compound effect. It's the exact strategy I use to stay focused and take meaningful progress without burning out. And before I wrap up, I want to say a huge thank you to the Maverick 1000 for creating the Maverick Next Award and making this entire experience possible. If you're interested in joining the Maverick Nexters and meeting Sir Richard Branson yourself, check out their website at maverick1000.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.